This is probably what I think is the most hype presenter we have at Terminus this year. Kurt Margenau from Naughty Dog.
My personal history with Naughty Dog, I've helped ship these 4 games. I've been there almost 8 years. So I've made a lot of fun stuff. It's been a lot of good times. I put this book up here because it's like a huge tenet of how we think about story, this Robert McKee story book. If there was one book I'd say to read to like make you a better storyteller, it would be this book. And the way that we develop a story is similar to how a writer would in like writing a screenplay, where you put these cards up on the board and have like the major beats of the story, the major beats of the characters. And the directors will go and sit there for months in a room and just kind of beat the story out from beginning to end. A game designer crafts an experience for the player, whether that's through layout, complex scripting, you're going to collaborate with every department on the team to ensure that the final experience is something meaningful and elicits an emotional response. I think that's another thing like that Naughty Dog thinks about a lot, maybe more than other places, is the actual character I'm with and how in the layout and the game design am I going to interact with them. So there's always things you're thinking about as a designer, making people feel emotions, making them do the thing you want them to do. Because for a Naughty Dog game, we're telling a linear story, but we want you to empathize as much as possible with that character and feel what the character is feeling. So thinking about the player is the #1 thing that as a game designer you're just always thinking about, and more specifically, all the terrible things that the player can do that would make the experience bad. What we call in the industry edge cases, like if you have an idea, what is the player going to do to break it? Every designer is a producer. We don't have traditional producer structure at Naughty Dog. The designer is the owner of the level, the point man or woman. If anyone in the company sees something wrong with the level, they go to the designer, and it's up to them to get what they need from every department to make sure that the experience is going to be a polished one. A lot of people ask me, what engine do you guys use at Naughty Dog? And the answer is we use our own engine. We use this text-based language of our own creation called DC. It's kind of a variant of Lisp or Scheme. I apologize if I'm getting a little too technical, so I'm sure some of you guys this will be interesting. We have my favorite tool is a Who Wrote This Line tool, which you select a line and you run the tool and it goes in Perforce and tells you the name of the check-in of who wrote the line, usually because you're gonna make fun of them, but then you see that it's your own name. It comes up on the thing. So super simple. Other games, they might camera cut or something. We always want this like seamless experience. So we do have a custom one-off animation just for this scene, just for this geo in this place in the world. This is the script for just that moment from when you press X to when you get control again. There's a lot of custom stuff that we do, and it's really important, and the designer owns all that, all the little details of polishing those little moments. Even this moment as insignificant as that, someone has to write and make custom. It's also important to point out that this stuff is all running on PS4 the whole time. We don't have a PC engine that like runs a version of the game. We have the DualShock 4 in our hands the whole time. So we have one-to-one like what the player is going to experience right from the beginning when we're building it. It needs to be fully playable in block mesh form, like it is the truest sense of the space. It has all the cover that works, all the climbing, any place you're going to be able to climb, you're going to be able to climb. You are designing all the gameplay experience before it goes to art. You know when you see at E3 and you see the little badge in the corner that says pre-alpha footage? That's all bullshit. That's like the most polished version of the game that you could ship. This is what pre-alpha footage looks like. So talking about prototypes for a second. This is kind of the funnest part of design, where a designer can just have a cool idea and want to make it, and they have a passion for something. And when I say prototype, I mean the designer is making this kind of by themselves. They're going to go to an animator and get like, oh, I need a looping, swim animation. But all the movement of this right now is prototyped by a designer. It's one of those things where as a designer, if you have that passion, you have that idea, you can make it and then kind of pitch it around and show it to people and get people excited and then kind of build a consensus around this idea. When you go back and play a game years later, you play it and you'll enjoy it as a game, but really it's like the biggest like high school yearbook of all time. Of every moment you play, you remember working on and you remember the people you worked with. And it's emotional. You remember all those moments, how you made it. and years of your life you put into it. So I look forward to going back and playing all these games when I'm much older and reliving all those things.